1, 2, 3. Tag me in podcast.
Tag Me In podcast back again with another episode. Energy.
Got that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing? You alright?
I'm alright. You?
Man's looking dapper.
Looking dapper.
Yeah.
Myself, Antoinette.
Hey.
You're not going to introduce yourself?
Well, man. Yes.
Hola, man. Hola, man. No one's a holla at, man. Yeah.
Hey.
So, what is today's topic all about?
Today's topic is about being an adult. How to be an adult.
Uh-huh.
Just being a grown-up. It's like, as trivial as it sounds, I think a lot of people don't actually grow up into like being an adult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you go through school, go through university, and then not everyone kind of really matures and just knows how to be an adult. And
Yeah.
it could be a case of the way they've grown up is quite sheltered, where mum and dad has done everything for them, or they're just used to siblings protecting them. But I think, yeah, everyone's got like this kind of skewed definition of being an adult. Or some people just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of lives their life according to their standards, but there are like, not rules, but I say unwritten rules to just being an adult.
Like,
Some of it is basic, like just not being an idiot, being on time.
Wow.
No, it's true though. Not drinking when you're driving, not being on Snapchat when you're driving, but the number of people that do it and end up in accidents,
yeah.
you'd be surprised. It's like, it's
So,
basic things.
Are you
But
saying that's what it takes to quantify as
those are
an
no,
adult?
those are just like little. There's obviously a lot more. So I think one thing, especially for me, was kind of knowing how to and when to open up. I don't know if it's because I am a guy or just the way I was raised, but one thing that I wouldn't say struggled with, but one thing that I wasn't kind of open with or fond of doing was like opening up. Whether that's me being upset about something or just wanting to kind of show appreciation or love or whatever for like a family member or a friend. It was something that I just thought, what? I'm not gonna go up to dad or that guy and be like, man, rage. What? No. It's kind of like keeping it bottled up inside.
So is that not more of a clash of what a man is as opposed to an adult?
I think it's a bit of both though.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I wouldn't say it's just women wouldn't not do it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I think for the most part it does tend to be men, but that's not to say women open up about everything sort of thing. But I do say that it was kind of part and parcel of like being an adult, just a person in general.
Yeah.
Especially for me. I don't know if you sort of ever had any problem with that, or have you always been like a sort of open book and kind of let things out and just, this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah.
I think it's just learning how to communicate it. I don't think I think we're kind of taught, especially from my sort of background, that you kind of keep your cards close to your chest so you don't reveal all. And I never understood that because I felt like I was lying. Like a lot of the times, like I'd be hiding stuff and keeping things kind of like away from people because I don't know. Like my mum always used to say, like, never give people that ammunition to kind of shoot you with. So like by what information you give them, be careful because they might turn back around and shoot you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I kind of did struggle with that, like navigating through life. And then I don't know when it happened, but one day I was just like, boy, I'm just gonna be me because it's too hard trying to be something I'm not or holding back. Like what you get is this, you don't get everything, but you get probably 90%.
They get enough basically.
Too much
Never
sometimes.
ranting.
But like, I think it's interesting because like we're talking about adult life and alright, cool. Adult life is, for me, is you thrown in the deep end and then you got to swim. But I think what it takes to be an adult, and I think you touched on it, is that element of becoming a bit more mature.
Yeah.
But I think it's so broad to say what adult is and what's maturity. But what I think I've realised through my growth and growing up, that there was a transition of what I was, which was a young adult, and then becoming an adult. And I think I only became an adult like this year, maybe last year.
Oh, right. So before that, you say young adult.
Young adult.
I didn't even know there was a time.
Because like, the way I map it in my brain, it's like, when you get a sense of like little independence, like you start getting your job, you start paying stuff, so for me, I've got my passport, driving license, driving lessons, I was doing that.
Yeah.
So I had those kind of adult tendencies, but I wasn't adult at that stage.
Yeah.
And then I was still kind of reliant on my mum because I was still living in her household. So there was that element of dependency. And then it kind of took like, do you know when they say it takes pressure to like make a diamond?
Yeah.
Like uncomfortable situation, like literally shake the foundation. And that's what happened to me. Like I was probably like 22. Like I was doing well in my life and I was navigating it, taking control, taking responsibility. But I think it was like a rocky moment where you just leave. You know, when you go uni, you go back home for like summer or something like that. It's just like, I don't even want to be here. It's tense.
Nah, it's not my space.
It's tense, and it's just like rah. And it was at that moment I was just like, boy, I don't like this. I need to change something. And that's when I started to take a bit more control of my life and like started progressing and started doing more things. But I'm still a young adult because, you know, you got to learn how to navigate people. You need to know how to navigate certain situations and experiences. But I think from a young adult perspective, you have to be able to just look after yourself, like basic needs, like provide food, shelter, know how to clean. Or, you know, at least look after yourself. But like the way I see adult life now is, I guess it's like, no, in fact, it was like my quarter life crisis. Yeah. That kind of, it was like the building of an adult.
Yeah. Okay, but quick question. Would you say being an adult, becoming an adult, is more experiences you've gone through, or is it just an age thing? Because a lot of people would say, a lot of people would say, oh, it's age. I'm like,
it's not age, because you could become an adult at 40.
That's the thing. Like,
please, I beg.
No, that's the thing. And like, there are people in situations where they're 30, 35, they still live at home, mum and dad pays for everything. And I'm not joking about when I was at work, this was my old job. Then like this 35-year-old guy was like, his mum or dad pays his phone bill. And I was like, and I'm like, what? They're retired, you're taking some money, like, what? You're not, for me, I'm just like, no. Yeah. I don't care about your age. That's not, that's not, what is that, man? You're supposed to be looking after your parents in their retirement. How are they paying your phone bill? You're a grown man.
They've got money, they've got the guap.
No, that's, to me, I was like, I don't rate that. Yeah. But then I know I've got cousins who,
but do you
17,
not, 18, the reason you don't rate it is because of like society, I guess, is saying that by 30 you should be out of the household.
It's not even the age, I don't know what it was. I'm just like, what? You're 35. Why is your mum paying your phone bill?
So it is the age.
What is that, man?
Still 35. It's not the age, what? Man's 35.
But he's a grown man. Why is his mum paying his... Because he's a man. He's just a grown man. Why is your mum paying your phone bill?
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
I mean, if she offered, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I just kind of saw it.
But that's what I meant by like, sometimes it takes that uncomfortable like situation or scenario to shake that foundation. So like, if they said it's time for you to leave the house, or I'm not paying your phone bill, I'm sure you'll step up, or you will, become that adult that you should be.
And just like step up and pay the bill.
So like, obviously, it's probably down to the parents as well.
A bit of both, yeah, but I don't know. For me, I was just like, nah.
So, did you say anything to him? Did you go?
I just looked at him. I took my lunch. I went. I was like, no, I'm not eating if you tell me. No.
Bro, you're not. You stay in the kids' table.
You stay over there. Us adults who paid for a meal.
Hey, but did they have jam and peanut butter sandwiches? And like little chocolate
crisps. But no, by that same token, I've got like little cousins and I know friends who may have lost like parents and they've had to step up. Like one of my cousins like lost their mum, fortunately. Rest in peace, Auntie. And like this was when they were 14, 15, even younger. Yeah. I'm just like, rah. And like,
growing up too fast.
That's the thing. I was just like, I was in a position where what can I say apart from sorry, blah blah blah. What can I say to like a little 14, 15-year-old boy? Like you got to face the rest of your life. You're on your ones, you're on your siblings.
You got family, but
you got family, but the one, and I was just like, and I've just seen them like when I say maturity, and it obviously hurt because it's like family. I'm just like, oh, man, it hurts me because there's nothing that I can say that I can give you that's gonna bring back Mumsy.
Yeah,
like it is what it is, and it's like I had to watch these little kids become adults.
Yeah,
before me even because of the situation. So for me, it's like when I look at it, I'm just like. A combination of both age and experience, but primarily experience.
But like, are you saying they're adult because they tick what? Because 3 boxes. They got
because it's not that they had responsibility upon them, responsibility and accountability. And I think that's kind of part of the fundamentals of the making of an adult. It's taking responsibility. When you're young, when you're a child, when you're a young adult, it's usually living with parents, or there's a guardian or a parent responsible for you and a lot of your actions. They're taking the brunt of it. They're paying your bills. They're dealing with the consequences of your actions. Whereas when you're an adult, when you take on that responsibility, it's you being number one. If something goes wrong, you're getting the buck. When you've eaten at the restaurant, you're getting the bill. You're taking like the bulk of that responsibility.
But you could have that now. Like I'm sure, if worst case scenario, you need money from like your parents, you could turn to them. So like I don't think
100%. Yeah, but that's kind of like. that's kind of like being down kind of thing. Not like me continuously living there and being there and always asking. It's if I just fall down or if that foundation's rocked and I need a bit of assistance, cool. I wouldn't say that kind of takes away from being an adult. That's going through life, going through the motions. It's we all have ups and downs. It's me being in one of my downs. Who can I turn to? Family first. Like, cool, thank you for the help. Sort of thing, and friends. But I think it is. I guess it is subjective. Some people would say age. Some people would say experiences. I think it's a combination of the both, but I'd primarily sort of say experiences because that's what really kind of shapes you. And then it's kind of like the way you react to these experiences as opposed to age.
Yeah.
Because again, like, I don't know if you know, I've seen like grown up kids, like 30, 40, they're kids, but at the same time, I've seen young kids that are just grown for their age, man, like above their years. Like, I'm sure you've sort of heard it when someone's been like, like, you know, like you've got like you're a mature head, like, you know, you're kind of older than your years, sort of thing. I've heard that a few times as well. But I think it is just sort of experiences and the way kind of people kind of navigate. Another thing about adult life that I've sort of definitely kind of learned is to not, I guess, expect too much from people. And this is like friends, relationships, family, everyone. And I think a lot of people are guilty of this, especially in relationships. People and friends, it's just in everything. Like people probably have high expectations for their friends. And it's because I think people see a lot of themselves in their friends. And there was something, so I remember reading this, it was, because obviously you see your friends as a part of you or as a representation of you, and you kind of put what you do for them, you'd expect that they do for you, but then that obviously always isn't the case. So then when they kind of fall on like, I don't know, meeting you at a certain place or a certain time or delivering something and then they don't do it, and then you're just like, rah. Yeah. And I think if people just understand that, that's just not how the way, it's just not the way the world works. It's just not how it is. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
So is that something that you have to break out of? Because I guess
I think it is, yeah.
You have expectations. Some people have it this way, like they go home and their parents made food for them. I didn't have that, so I didn't have that expectation of when I walk home there's going to be food on the table. Yeah. But do you reckon like probably the way that we're parented forms that kind of thing of like expectations? And then it takes a number of like burns.
Just that. Where's the food? I think primarily it's like family life. I mean that's the thing. It shapes where you're raised shapes a lot. Yeah, of the direction. A lot. Like the way you kind of deal with people, the way you're with money, friends, and it's like
I think everyone has an involvement because it's not family. It's also your friendship circle and the sort of experiences you go through when you're a young adult. You know, you become accustomed to a certain way or a certain lifestyle, and then the real world. And this is what you're saying about: is it experiences? Is it age? I think it's experience that really shapes an adult, 100%. Because you're thrown, like I said, that whole uncomfortable scenario thing. Like you're put into one place. So imagine you make that transition from leaving school and you start your job. That's just a whole new kind of like territory for you. You're like, wow, how do I deal with this? And it's like, you can, you get used to the work environment within like the first 4 weeks, but there's so much more that you're going to face. Yeah. And it's like, how do you handle each one of those challenges? And I think that's the shaping of an adult because I think, you're supposed to spend your early years, like when you're like, I don't know, from whenever, like 2 years old all the way up to like 24 or 25, you're basically trying to build yourself. You're trying to build who you are. Yeah. And that's why I said, like, for me, that was me being a young adult. And now these are the years where I'm like, okay, what lessons have I learned? So definitely mistakes. Like whatever mistakes I've made in the past, I always look back on it and go, boy, I was young.
But it is what it is. Like that's life. I think that's the beauty of it. It's like, just young and foolish.
I was young.
And you learn.
But that's what I think is key for being, like, we had an episode on, personal development, and it's like, it kind of ties in with quarter life crisis. It ties in with a lot of our episodes. It's like, there becomes a moment in time where you're like, I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to take responsibility. And I think when you hit probably 25, it might happen even earlier, like, you become critical in terms of your thinking and you start reflecting on your behavior. So those mistakes you made, you think, why did that happen? And you try and think of ways that you could avoid that happening again, or what could you have done differently?
What lessons have you learned?
And that's what I feel is an adult.
But in addition to that, I think people have to essentially get burnt.
Oh yeah,
And
for
you
sure.
have to
You're gonna
learn.
get burnt until
It's
you're
like-
145.
Thank you, because like how many times, I don't know about how many times when you were a young kid, and your parents were like, "Don't do this, don't do that, don't go there." Okay. Then you do it, and then it's like,
Yeah, I told you so.
don't climb that table.
Told you so.
climb it,
Told you
knock
so.
it out on the floor.
Aye.
What did I tell you?
No
What
love
did I
at all.
tell you?
No
What
love
did
at
I
all.
tell you?
I wanted
And I
sympathy at that
And I
moment.
still got beaten. Still
Why
got
are you crying?
smacked. Give you a reason to cry.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like sometimes, a lot of the time, you have to kind of just get burnt, get that kind of scar,
No,
and
no,
then
no,
you
you
kind
can't
of
avoid
learn.
it. You can't avoid it at all. Like, you can avoid it, but I don't think you live in life. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot more. Like that's
Bubble
what
wrap
that kind of,
life.
that's the thing. That's what builds the experience. Kind of going through that fire, feeling the pain, it's like,
Yeah, for sure. Sure, like it's definitely the mistakes that have kind of shaped me. And you know how I'm doing this whole thing about pointing a finger, like if I see something about someone else, and people hate me for this, but it helps me with that kind of awareness level. So if I say that I point a finger at someone, like, I'm going to use the worst example. They got holes in their socks. Man better be looking at my own socks and making sure that there's no holes in my socks. Like,
is that important? Would you say though? Because is it really?
What?
Like
hole in
looking
the sock?
at your sock.
Yeah.
Because if someone else,
Because if I'm critical of them,
Mm.
like who am I? Number one, to be critical of them, and then I've got to make sure that if I'm going to be critical or judgmental in any type of way, that it's not just a damn right reflection of myself, because I'm basically talking about myself. Because I'll be like, oh, look, he's got holes in his socks. Oh, man, don't look after himself. Look down at my foot, be like, rah.
full holes.
Oh, so I don't look after myself, and then that's like working on yourself. So like when I was saying about the quarter life crisis, the 20s, and personal development, it's like that element of trying to be like the best version of you.
Yeah.
And just like when you just look at all the kind of like blocks that you put together to form who you are, like there becomes a point where you've got a solid foundation, and that's
kind of go from there, being an adult. On that actually, so looking
man's
at,
gonna knock down my block.
no, I was going to say, no, it's like, no, not even looking at building blocks. Would you say there's ever a point where you finally become an adult? Because I kind of see it as like you never stop learning, you never stop growing. So is there a point where you can say I'm an adult? Or is it just,
you are adult. Like,
because that's when I feel like the age thing comes in. I feel
Yeah.
like 24, 25 is when you can say you're an adult.
I guess,
but then the learning.
when
and
would you say
development-
you became adult?
I'll be honest, I think, again, this is my opinion, I could be wrong, but I feel like I matured quite early. So I'd say probably second year of university.
All right.
Um,
So in first year of university, would you say, if you used to go back, you might have claimed that you was an adult then?
no,
I think
again,
that keeps on moving.
I'll be, again, this is not me just saying this. I've always been like quite reflective. Back in uni, I was like, I knew I'm now going out. I wasn't much of a drinker, but going out, partying, just doing like, just student things.
guys.
Laying in on like a Wednesday, Monday morning, just in bed, Cocoa Pops, watching whatever I was watching.
Rah.
I just kind of knew. I just knew, but then like end of first year, summertime, I'd already started thinking about what I was going to do for graduation, saving, student finance, just looking along. I started that early sort of first year. And from second year, it was kind of like in motion. Okay, just keep pedaling, keep going. This is what's going to happen. We'll do this. I'm not sure about that. Fair enough, I'm not sure. Not everyone has the answers. Boom. Then I was just like, then it was a moment of like reflection. And I was like, right, I don't think, having spoken to a lot of other students, I was like, not a lot of people think the way I think. They're still on partying and getting girls and doing this, whereas I'm already thinking about mortgages and investments. And I just kind of knew, okay, not just because of that. So I was just like, I'm just like, okay, I can see the kind of.
Would you say like there's ever been an element of you saying to yourself that you grew up too fast?
I don't. Some people say so to me, but
Because
I never felt that.
If I say, when did you have fun? Can you recall a moment and be like, yeah, that was 09, 010.
But I still have fun now. Like I don't feel like being an adult is. Some people use it. I don't feel like it's an excuse to not have fun. But I can sort of see where you're going with that. For me, no. I can honestly never say there was a point where I'm like, okay, I'm an adult now. Can't have fun. Can't do this. It's fun is fun. Like all work, no play. Makes Jack a dull boy. Man ain't trying to be dumb. Man ain't
Take
trying to
me
be
back
Jack.
to uni, man.
Thank you. Like there's good. Like, oh man.
But you was having Cocoa Pops. Man was out there. Like this is the difference. This is what I can't understand.
Didn't have no Cocoa Pops.
What? Like,
come on, man.
Waking up after like a night out and be like,
midday.
You was waking up like watching cartoons, ITV, banging out Cocoa Pops and sitting in your
On
bed.
that laptop, YouTube,
Everyone's
yeah.
you're mad. But like, the reason why I asked the question was simply based on the fact that I feel like in a time period, so when you was in first year of uni, you might have claimed that you was an adult. You might have been like, yeah, I'm an adult. And then the next year when you're 22, you're like, or the second year of university, it's like, I'm an adult. I just feel like it keeps on moving because I used to claim I was proper mature and I was like far advanced among other people. And
what age though was that?
From day. Nah, not from crawling out my mum. You know?
From day. I'm grown.
But like even, I guess, uni, I felt like I was a man. Because, you know, I left the nest, innit? I was like looking after myself, washing, ironing, everything, cooking, making Christmas dinner for everyone. I was like, yeah, look, these man were struggling like to make like this peeled potato, but I'm making duck. Like,
Duck like Anton.
And I felt like I was a man there. And then like, I thought I was a man when I was like 21 and 22, 23. I thought I was a man. And then 25, I was like, I'm a man. And then like, now 26, I'm like, I'm a man. Like, I am a man.
Yeah.
But I feel like I will always grow to be, I think I'll be, you know, you got young adult. I'm an adult now. I'm an adult that's going to continue growing. I think that's the way. Yeah,
I think that's the thing. That's why I was like, it's kind of hard to say in subjects because it's like you're continuously growing and you're continuously pushing that boundary. So
not everyone does that though. You have to bear that in mind. Like
it's a shame.
It's not a shame because people are content with their lives, isn't it? Like if you're content and you're happy, do whatever. So if you're just like got your GCSEs or not even get your GCSEs and then you want to work somewhere like in retail and that's going to be you for the rest of your life. Yeah. But you're willing to take responsibility of your life and you're going to claim that you're an adult, then you know who am I to say that you're not? You know. But we're just, you know, we're trying to be better every single day, and you know, I think my definition of an adult is just reflecting. Yeah, reflect. I think that's what makes me, in my head, an adult. Yeah, that element of reflecting now.
I think it is that briefly touched on by you, but then I also like the aspect of accountability and responsibility, because again, it's just that kind of all falls down on you, and you just being able to not even handle it, but just understanding that it's down to you.
But I feel like you can have that. Like I had that at 23. Like I think just because. So like, are you saying that you're 16? You're out and like I don't know. Worst case scenario. Your parents tell you time to leave the nest, or like, 16 that you can just get kicked out. I don't know what age.
Maybe 16.
Like, you take responsibility, you start looking after your life. Does that mean you're an adult? I think you're a young adult.
But what about the element of accountability as well?
Accountability.
So that responsibility has been forced upon that person, but then they don't have that age and I guess experience, maturity to go with it. It's like. Okay, cool. We're dealing with things. Yeah. We're dealing with things. You're still young. There's still a long way for you to go. There's still a lot of things that you have to experience to really kind of understand and to build your emotional strength, social skills, to be able to deal with these things. So I think that's where that battle of age and then experience kind of comes in. It's like, it's a bit, again, it's a tough, I don't know, it is a tough one. But I guess ultimately it's quite subjective down to the person and how they see it.
Yeah, I think.
So now, are you saying Anton's a man?
Man's about. It's just that sense of independence, understanding that challenges is going to happen. Like, just deal with it as it comes. Learn from your mistakes, make mistakes. Make sure you look after other people as you're going along on your journey as well. I think. You touched on it about the whole responsibility thing of like not pointing fingers at other people for your actions or wrongdoings, but also I think becoming an adult is part of like becoming responsible for other people, if that makes sense. So like a lot of people mature quite a lot when they have kids and they become adults because they got a responsibility of a young child. Yeah. And like, my responsibility now is like, the whole volunteering, mentoring, but also my family. Like everything I try and do is like for the family. That's my responsibility. No one placed it upon me. No one's like got a night got a sword and be like, Anton, I declare you
knight of the family.
Yeah, it was none of that, but it was just a sense of like, you know what, they've done a lot for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm growing and I feel like I'm an adult. Let me take one for the team.
Yeah.
So that's my vision of the adult life.
And I think on that, I think that's where kind of listening comes in. Because growing up, again, this goes back to kind of like, don't go on the table, get down. It's like when you're young, you kind of quite rebellious. And
you're curious.
People don't listen. you're not open to ideas. You don't really listen. But I think when you become an adult, it's important to understand and learn to just listen to what people say. But yeah, like you said, when you're young, you're curious, you're rebellious. You don't always want to like listen. You want to do your own thing, learn on your own, cool. But then I think when you become an adult, it's important to listen to what people around you are saying. I think a lot of people are just kind of stuck in this kind of doing what they want to do and won't necessarily listen to others around them, whether that's parents, friends, family, whoever it is. They're not necessarily listening, but it's important to listen in that sense and also just listen as a friend when people have something to say. Just listen. A lot of people, it sounds basic, but a lot of people don't know how to listen.
There's different types.
They'll talk over you and sort of thing, but they won't listen, or they'll hear it.
They hear the end of your sentence.
Yeah, but they won't like take it in. Like, they won't really understand. Like active listening is the term. They won't actively listen. Like, yeah. What did I say?
You said last week Tuesday. Right?
I said next week Monday. Active listening. Yeah. But I think it's definitely something that people sort of need to take on.
I'm thinking about this in my head because there's been scenarios like when I've been on like dates or seeing someone, and I felt like they haven't experienced life. Like they haven't been put out in the deep end. So like they've kind of, not saying that if you live at home you're not an adult. I'm not saying that. But I feel like because of the comfort of being at home has led them to kind of live a comfortable life, and they haven't put themselves in scenarios or haven't experienced things that I can say, wow, you're actually an adult now. Like, just in terms of conversation, like, it's almost the vision of the world. You know, like, we spoke earlier about reality versus dreams.
Yeah.
That bubble hasn't been burst. Like, they think, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a job, and it's going to be like 60K, my first job, and then after that, it's going to be 150. Ugh.
Yeah, you wish. It's not. Yeah.
But I can't.
Come back down.
I'm going to be a negative person if I say to reality. Swear. I can't enforce. I can't be that. You know that life doesn't happen that way. That's not for me to say.
But isn't that your responsibility as their friend?
Yeah.
But it is.
Because
they're about to fall off a cliff, and you're just like.
No, you could be like, okay, where's your research? Where's your backing behind that? But I can't be that person that says, you know what, that can't happen, or it's unlikely to happen, because it's a negative voice, isn't it? It's like, you can't. And I hate to be that person.
In the phrase you say it though, because then you can come across as, you can't do that, I didn't do it, or you can come across as, just do your research, because most graduates.
I tell them that, but. That bubble hasn't been burst, and that's what I sense sometimes. Like on dates, I'm just like, oh,
Then it was like, there's that kind of like, you're like, ooh, does it kind of put you off? Would you say?
I don't know if it puts me off.
Because then it's like, is it their fault for being naive? It's just naivety. It's not like they're, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I still.
Yeah.
Does it put me off? It makes me think.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, it makes me go.
Yeah. So you kind of let people just kind of burst their own kind of bubbles, and you're just like
I said, I feel like their experiences is what shapes everyone, and I feel like not to be a negative sort of person, but you know, even our previous episode about the 100K thing, like it was a throw-out thing, and it was a dream.
Yeah.
But I also accepted that, you know, reality is not going to be 100K. But it's going to be like 1/10 of it. That's perfectly fine. I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's that mindset of 100K. It's got to be. And then not having experience your bubble being burst on a major scale.
Yeah.
I think that's something that, you know, I feel most people should go through, and I think that's what exactly is becoming an adult. That moment where you're like, rah, this is life.
Things on.
This is what it's like, rah.
And I think at that point,
Yeah.
what really kind of sets people apart is then how you deal with that.
Yeah.
Because there's that classic, okay, you've fallen down,
Mm.
bubble's been burst. What do you do now?
That's
Yeah,
yourself.
keep going.
Try.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we need to drop an EP, man. It's like, okay, cool. You didn't get a 60K job. Do you go on job seekers? No. Get the 20K job. Work up to 30. Work up to 40. Work up to 50. Work up. Keep working. I'm like, not giving up. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's like, it's just being an adult. It never stops, because a lot of people don't understand that. You're only a child or an adolescent for what, the first 18 years of your life, really. We're talking about technically or whatever, and then after that you're an adult for the rest of your life. There's just this continuous like years of just learning and growth and like development and meeting people and making friends and just going through life, going through experiences. It's crazy, man.
Living that adult life.
That's the thing. Like it's crazy.
Do you reckon there's another stage? Do you reckon there's like elderly life or like?
I think there's that. I know.
The
I
next
know. There's like.
transition.
I think the next one's like what, near sort of retirement. Like just
because it's kind of weird, like
breaking down.
just taking a step back, like you're a toddler or you're a baby or a toddler, and then you're like that early childhood age, I don't know what it is, and then you're a teenager, and then you're an adult. What happens after that? Because that is the big gap. That's like, I guess on a form, you're adult when you're 18.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be you until whatever age, like 65, or if not 80, 100, whatever. So this is adult life.
This is it. This is the long journey. It's the long haul.
Adult life.
It just keeps going. It's like
it's fun though. I enjoy it. It's just...
oh man, I'd love to like sit down with like a man and like a woman and just people who are like in their like 60s, 70s, 80s, and you're like, just talk to them.
Yeah.
Run me through 20 to now.
It's different though, isn't it? Because like
that's the thing. It's obviously
different generation.
But it's just funny to think that if you can get a couple of 25-year-old, 26-year-olds line up and just be like, care about their life experiences, none of the stories will be the same.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting. Like everyone's been through complete, like just what?
And that's like one thing I have to learn, that it's that level of different paths, people in different places for different reasons, different experiences, and just accept it. Just accept everyone for who they are and whatever journey they went through.
Do you think about old age at all?
Nah, do you know, actually, you say, so I do. I think about just well-being. Like, will I be flexible? Will I have, will I be fit?
To be, man.
So that's what I think about. I don't think about what it looks like, but I just think, am I going to be able-bodied?
Yeah.
And I guess, start planning for the future. So like, do my stretches in the morning, trying to eat well. I forgot what the book's called. There's a book called Blue Zones that I was reading, and it was just talking about it was looking at, I think, like countries around the world which have people who live like a long life.
Oh yeah.
And they say like drink red wine with every meal. I'm like, I'm not a drinker, but might have to cop that.
Make it happen.
And it talks about diet and everything like that. So that sort of stuff is kind of key, because I think now it's just like I could live my life just like not paying attention to my future in terms of well-being and health, but I feel like I don't want to make that mistake, because I have conversations with people who are older and they're like, "Bro, if I was your age, I was stretched now." Okay, I'm listening.
I'm stretching. Yeah.
What about you? Like,
that's the thing. That's the thing. So like, quite a few of my friends, are like a lot older men. And I've kind of purposely had that in place to look at them as not mentors, but just kind of like that could be me in the next 10, 20 years. And I'm always chatting to them. I'm always like,
I'm staring at a clipboard.
No, I'm not. I'm just there, like, like if you could go back to my age, what would you have done differently? What would you have done differently? What would you? And like, it's funny because like, obviously, although they've all had like different lives, different experiences, some kids, some not married, blah blah blah. One of the main things, or like the one thing that they've all kind of said to me is, try to like not have regrets, or that they have regrets, or like they have this kind of, I wish I had, or I wish I, and it's kind of them not taking opportunities that were there, or not kind of chatting to that girl that was there, or going for the job that they wanted, or whatever it was. And it's like, okay, I'm listening. They're like, mistakes will happen. It is what it is. That's life. That's how you learn. That's what shapes you, like we've said. But it's not having regrets kind of thing.
Like I say, I try to live by that whole saying of only regret the things that you don't do.
Yeah. And that's literally, that's the one kind of message I've taken from all of them. And I'm just like, all right, cool. That to me is just saying, just do it, man. Be in the moment, go for it. Just be an adult. Be an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, that
beautiful.
brings that into our episode.
Yes.
Adult life. Man stroking his beard like trying to grow that adult beard. I still got that young adult beard.
You get there, man. You get there.
Yeah, man, it's been an interesting episode.
It is an interesting topic. I think it'll be good to kind of sort of hear what people's experiences are of like adult life and like maybe regrets they've had or things that they've done differently or things they've learned. Because I think it's important to like learn and share ideas and opportunities, and so kind of reach out to us with sort of any experiences you've had, what stories you'd like to share about being an adult, if you're becoming an adult, if you want some advice, or what advice you'd like to give to younger ones. Like, it'd be good to hear, wouldn't it?
Yeah, share the love, man. Share the love.
Really.
Tag me in podcast.
That is us for this episode.
Find us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. We're about.
Yes.
Bow.